want to talk about actually what happened in the Garden of Eden. I had a lot of revelational truths concerning what transpired between Adam, Eve, and Satan. It has been believed that Eve um, was deceived by Satan, then called Lucifer, the bright and the morning star. And she was deceived and ate a literally fruit called apple. And Adam was, brought into the play, and he also ate. So the collusion was between Eve and Satan. Probably Adam was there or not there. But later he joined Eve to eat the apple. When God created Adam, the Bible says he was alone before God took out of the way of Adam after making him to fall into a deep sleep and out of the rib, which contains the DNA or chromosomes of Adam. And out of this, Eve came into being. And God gave an instruction. God told Adam, because Adam is the one that was actually created in the image and likeness of God. God said, let's create man, let's create something that can be in our instead. We don't have to be here, but that we control and be able to bring in the God kind of life into my creation. And that is how Adam came into being. And God said, let us create man in our image. That means that God was not alone. God said, let us create. Who are these people that God was relating to? Let us create. I want to take you back to a bit of biblical history. How that God had angels, and those angels are also referred to as sons. I want to believe that in heaven, God created angels that coexisted with him. Like Lucifer was referred to as the bright and morning star. These angels were spirits. They were spirit being like God. And in most portion of the Bible, they are referred to as sons of God. Remember when God was having a meeting. Bible says when the sons of God gathered, so God was having a meeting with his children. That Satan, Lucifer, came and God asked Lucifer, where have you been? And this verse said, I'm going to and fro. And God brought in Job into the matter. Okay, let's leave that for another day. So Lucifer was referred to as the bright and the morning star. He was full of wisdom and glory. But what it means is that God puts so much, so much, God puts so much in Lucifer. Like as a man, you have your firstborn. He becomes the epitome of you. So Eve did not actually eat a literal fruit. What actually happened in the garden was that Eve was captivated by the appearance, the imagery, the illusion, the beauty. Because I don't think Lucifer had much glory in himself, but he had beauty and gifts and wisdom. Because when God gives you a gift, he does not take it back. So he appeared to Eve in his alluring, beautiful embodiments and appearance. And I want to believe that because Eve was more vulnerable and susceptible, her heart was overwhelmed by what she sees, by the deception that this will eventually make her wiser, and by sensations, overtaken by sensations, right? What she sees, the alluring graphical imagery, captivating movie making appearances of Satan. And there was mingling, which as a sexual intercourse. So what is sexual intercourse here? Because eating of the fruit was not literally Eve eating the fruit. It was a sexual intercourse. Now how did it happen? Sexual intercourse is um the Bible says when a man has sex with a harlot. That's what Paul said. He said, when you have sex with a harlot, you have become one with that harlot. So there was a mingling between Lucifer and Eve. The mingling was not as it is now that you have to have sexual copulation, like a man has to bring out his penis and the vagina mingle. No, there is a space for that on earth, but in the spiritual realm, there was a mingling. The mingling I'm saying is Eve accepted Lucifer and all his ideologies and all his presentations and all his alluring and all that he is, and left that which God is. Because God gave them a commandment. they always dine with God. Remember, the Bible said that God comes down in the cool of the day and have fellowship with Adam and Eve. So when Eve saw Satan, when Eve got to the tree that represented the ancestral roots of Satan and the cohorts of the fallen angels that had the knowledge of good and evil, that God told Adam not to touch, not get closer to, or that day they will definitely die, just like the way Satan and one third of God's angels that revolted against God were sent to the earth, and the earth was without form, and I was void, and was in perpetual darkness. And that's actually how they were ostracized from God. They lost the essence of life because they were not able to get connected to light, which is God. And God gave this instruction, this commandment. And when Eve got to the tree, supposedly got to the tree, and the fruit supposedly apple, but which is not the literal apple that we have now, which the apple literally means the inherent character, nature of the tree, and the tree is the ancestral root of Satan and the cohorts of angels that revolted against God. So the tree is a lineage of Satan and all those that believe in him. Then Adam and Eve were the beginning of the tree, of our ancestral tree that brought humanity into being. So Eve saw Satan in his masquerade beauty, alluring imagery, deception, and embraced Lucifer. And by embracing Lucifer, he had sex with Lucifer. That means he became one and coerced and brought Adam, and Adam mingled, rubbed mind, embrace all that Lucifer is, embrace all that his ancestral roots and all that he represents than that which God represents. And that is how, as they got married, because I have said in most of my subsequent videos that sex is marriage. Sex is actually marriage. So as Eve got married to Lucifer, and Adam joined, and I told you that in the spiritual realm, there's nothing like male or female. So the Lucifer brings himself in a masculine form that will attract Eve, then in a feminine form that will attract Adam. And they all mingled, and Adam and Eve joined. They became one with Lucifer and the ancestral root. And Lucifer became the head. What it actually means is that Lucifer, Adam, and Eve sold their birthright to Lucifer. And that is how Lucifer dominated man until Jesus Christ became the second Adam and delivered man from this this marriage system of it. So this is Pastor Chen. Sorry, your life co-motivational speaker, a reformer, a transformer strategy. Follow me. I'm going to be diving in more into this intrinsic topic, distributing truths so that you understand spirituality much more than how you used to see them. So follow me, like my video, and God bless you.